Good afternoon. I hope things are going well for you on this Wednesday. I'm Julie Broughton. The time now is 12:30. This is News 6 Extra. We're so happy you're spending a little bit of time with us today for your news and weather update. We are seeing a pretty nice day weather-wise out there, but this will be our last day in the 80s for a while. We have a big warm-up as we head into the weekend, and some of us by Saturday could be feeling like the low 100s. So it looks like the heat is rolling in for us over the next couple of days. We're also keeping a close eye on the Space Coast, where we are waiting for a SpaceX launch that is set for 12:38. That's when they're hoping to send the next batch of Starlink satellites into orbit. And right now, everything looks to be a go for that 12:38 launch. The weather is cooperating. So the 45th Squadron is giving weather a 95% chance of cooperating. We don't often see that. The only concern, there could be a few cumulus clouds, but overall we think we are looking good for that launch that we will bring to you live when it happens right here on News 6 Plus. First, though, a Central Florida family is scrambling after their loved one with dementia was suddenly released from hospice care. News 6 investigator Lewis Bolden looked into this issue, and he found out it's not as uncommon as you might think.
Because you're so beautiful.
A dementia diagnosis can't break the bond between Amy Yates and her 91-year-old grandmother.
The experience overall has been a roller coaster, but hospice care has really been such a big support system for caring for her.
Her grandmother has been in hospice care for the past 2 years.
She can't leave the house anymore to go to doctor's appointments. It gives us access to CNA care so we can bathe her, all of her equipment, her hospital bed, her oxygen machine.
That help would soon go away after Yates received this notice saying in 24 hours Medicare coverage for her grandmother's hospice services will end because Medicare will no longer pay. And the deadline to appeal the decision was also the next day.
What do you think this is about?
I think it's she hasn't died fast enough, and it's costing them money that they don't want to spend.
Amy's family is dealing with what Medicare calls live discharge, and they're not alone. The Hospice Foundation of America tells me in 2022, 17% of people admitted to hospice care were later discharged, and about 6% of the cases were discharged because they no longer met Medicare requirements. Have you ever seen this happen before?
I have.
Jen Brown has worked in healthcare for more than 20 years.
If a person in their disease process, there hasn't been any kind of improvement or decline, if they're kind of at a steady plateau, there's really no reason to keep them on services because Medicare won't pay for that.
Even a plateau? Okay.
Even a plateau in condition. Gotcha. Yeah, over a period of time.
Brown owns a company where she helps seniors and families find independent and assisted living as well as memory care facilities. Brown says once people like Amy's grandmother are admitted into hospice, they are reevaluated every 60 days.
The company is saying that a doctor evaluated her, but she's like, they're
Nobody
like, how?
came in
Nobody's
to do
come
that.
to the house.
That's the case in most circumstances. The doctor doesn't actually see the patient. A lot of times they do team collaboration and they talk to the nurses and the aides and the social worker. So they kind of do a case conference per se.
We reached out to Medicare about the Yates' case. A spokesperson tells us if anyone needs help or has concerns about their benefits, they should call 1-800-MEDICARE and ask to speak with a beneficiary ombudsman.
Dementia patients deserve dignity, not discharge. They cannot fight for themselves.
And that was Lewis Bolden reporting. If you have an issue you'd like him to look into, he is always happy to hear from you, and you can reach him at lbolden@WKMG.com. The time now is 12:34, so we are about less than 5 minutes away from that SpaceX launch from our coast. That is set for 12:38. SpaceX is sending up its next batch of Starlink internet satellites, and when that happens, we will bring it to you live. Before we get to that, though, Central Florida's population is booming. We talk about it all the time, and if you live here, you certainly feel the effects of that. In Osceola County, work is underway for a near rebuild of one school, Reedy Creek Elementary. News 6's Angie Quesada was there as the construction began.
Today marking a major milestone with that groundbreaking taking place earlier this morning, and construction has been underway since we got here early this morning. There was a lot of trucks going in and out of the property. And matter of fact, take a look over here. This is what the building is expected to look like. The $47 million project is going to be a complete rebuild and expansion of this school, and it's a move that leaders say is desperately needed as Osceola County continues to grow. This is a comprehensive rebuild. Swedish contractor Skanska will demolish portions of the existing school and construct a new 96,000 square foot academic center. Once complete, the school will accommodate nearly 950 students, up from its current capacity of around 820.
This has been a long time coming for the Poinciana community. This school has been around for a long time. It's a unique building. We're going to be sad to see it go, but exciting for the future, exciting for the possibilities of what can happen when you get state of the art.
This project is just one of several massive school construction efforts in the county. In January, the district broke ground on Nova Road High School, set to open next year with room for 2,500 students. And over in Kindred, a new K-8 school is slated to open in August.
A lot of history, and this is a very unique design. It's one of, I believe, only 2 that ever were built in the country. But it's time for an upgrade. It's time that, we get to have all the features that we see as we drive around and look at other schools. This community deserves that too.
The district says the new Reedy Creek Elementary should be completed by the 2026-2027 school year.
Again, the district saying the new Reedy Creek Elementary should be completed by the 2026-2027 school year. Reporting in Kissimmee, Angie Casada, News 6.
It is looking great, and we're also looking good for that launch we told you about, set for 12:38 from our Space Coast. Here is a live look for you. This is Launch Complex 40 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. That is a Falcon 9 rocket you see there on the pad, launching 28 Starlink satellites into orbit. That time is set for 12:38, so we are T-minus 212 from that launch. The booster will land on a drone ship in the ocean called a shortfall of gravitas, and there is a 95% chance of the weather cooperating. It looks like that is what's happening. Absolutely beautiful shot there. Let's listen in.
Stage 2 LOX load is complete. Falcon 9 is in startup. LD, go for launch. T-minus 30 seconds. Seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignitions, engines full power, and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink. Vehicle is pitching. Pressure is nominal. Vehicle is pitching downrange. Power and telemetry nominal.
All right, we just watched a beautiful launch from our Space Coast. That is a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket carrying 28 Starlink satellites into orbit. It launched from Launch Complex 40 out at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, and it will land on a drone ship in the Atlantic after it gets those Starlink satellites into orbit. Of course, always beautiful to see a launch there. If you'd like to continue watching, we have that for you on clickorlando.com. We are going to take a short break, and when we get back, we will give you an insider guide to the city of Claremont. We have been hitting the road to Claremont all week. News 6 Morning anchor and insider guide Crystal Moyer will show you the places that you really need to hit. We will also take a look at your extended forecast where we have a big warm-up on the way. Stay with us. We're back in 2 minutes. Time now is 12:42. I'm Julie Broughton. Welcome back to News 6 Extra. We'll have a check of your forecast for you in just a moment. After a really wet last week and then even into Monday, we're dry now. We're going to keep dry weather around, and also along with that comes the heat. So we'll break that down for you in just a few minutes in your full 7-day forecast. But first, if you've been with us throughout the week, you know we have been hitting the road to Claremont, highlighting all the spots you need to check out. News 6 anchor and insider guide Crystal Moyer has the insider guide to Claremont.
Hey, it's News 6 anchor Crystal Moyer here, and we are hitting the road this time to Claremont. So I'm giving you a guide to the city based on recommendations that you all sent in. Let's go. We're going to start with this spot recommended by Vicky, who says a mini Mount Rushmore and the President's Hall of Fame with a smell reminiscent of your grandparents' basement. All right, let's check it out.
Located along Highway 27, the House of Presidents is one of Florida's original roadside attractions, opening in 1964, a museum dedicated to U.S. presidents and their families.
There's just so much stuff in this building, and there's stories behind almost everything.
Along with wax figures and artifacts from presidential China to campaign memorabilia, it's known for its 1/12th scale model White House, where you can take a glimpse inside each room. Curator Tommy Candido says it's updated during every presidency.
Do you know why they call that the red room?
Because it's red?
Oh yeah. Okay, why do they call that the blue room?
I'm guessing because the chairs are blue?
Nope. Chester A. Arthur hired Tiffany & Company to redecorate the White House, and they came up with a color specifically for that room.
I bet everybody falls for that.
And this Mount Rushmore replica is a popular attraction.
Some of you wrote in saying we need to check out the Citrus Tower. Well, for this one, we need to go 22 stories up.
Sitting at 226 feet tall, the structure was built in 1956 along 27, named for the booming citrus industry at the time.
And it was a location for the citrus farmers to come in, almost like a cooperative.
Wow.
So they bring their citrus here, and then it would be distributed from this region.
At the top, a 360-degree view of Claremont and beyond, up to 35 miles out on a clear day. That covers 8 counties. The first floor renovated to include meeting spaces, a coffee shop, and lounge. And you can get a taste of Claremont by visiting Lake Ridge Winery off US 27, recommended by Choice Edwards. The 127-acre vineyard opened in 1989 and offers daily wine tours and tastings for free. On the weekends, there's family-friendly events with food and live entertainment on the lawn.
And now we're here at Waterfront Park, where Norma Doro says Lake Mineola Lakefront Park is her favorite spot. It's like having the beach in Claremont.
We're just pretending like we're on the coast.
And it's close enough. I mean, you've got the sand here, you've got the water, kids are having a good time. There's so much more to Claremont. I couldn't fit everything in this story, but you can find a full list of our guide to the city on clickorlando.com/insider. And while you're there, tell me about your experiences in the comments section. Crystal Moyer, News 6.
Now I have a whole list of places I need to visit. Our coverage from Claremont will continue today on News 6 starting at 4, so we hope you will join us then. Disney is partnering with the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts to give elementary school kids a chance to perform on the big stage. They get to sing Disney classics right there in Steinmetz Hall. News 6's Jana Manahalal got to see some of those future stars in action.
For many young performers, stepping onto the professional stage at the Dr. Phillips Center is a dream come true. The Disney Musicals in Schools Student Share Celebration brings together students from across Central Florida to perform scenes and songs from their musicals at Steinmetz Hall. Before the show, we spoke with Ryan Simpson. He told me since the program started in 2016, nearly 6,000 students across 34 schools have taken part in this program.
And hopefully they've gone on to, just be stronger communicators, more confident in their classrooms.
These students are going to take the stage for an unforgettable experience. And while it may be Disney here on this script, well, the magic, that's all theirs.
For 5th grader Valeria Yepes-Balstros, the experience has been truly transformative.
I originally was not going to join because I was too scared, but somebody convinced me, and I think it was one of the best decisions of my life.
Valeria's journey began in 3rd grade when she nervously auditioned for her school's musical.
We heard her voice. She became our Elsa, and we're like, we just knew. It's funny to think back because at the time, she was so quiet.
This year, Valeria's hard work has paid off.
It was very exciting to find out that I had got enrolled because I worked so hard for it.
The program's impact goes far beyond the stage, especially for students learning English.
We have a very high population of non-English speakers. When you get involved in theater like this, it really helps them to improve their speaking, and they come out of their shell.
At the Dr. Phillips Center, Jana Manahalal, News 6.
I love seeing that. They're so talented. Lisa Bell's son participated in that program last year, and she has talked so much about how wonderful it is. So great to see all those students, and they're all so talented. All right, let's get a check of your forecast now. We had a very wet week last week, and we started the week this week very wet, but that has changed. You can see that on the radar for us as we are scanning out. No rain to track. Rain chances for today are around 10% or less. Here's why. Looking at the water vapor imagery, this shows us what's happening in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere when we're talking about moisture levels. And look at all that orange right on top of Central Florida. That shows us where it is just bone dry aloft. That's why we're seeing so much blue sky out there and limited rain chances. And that will be the story as we roll through the next several days. Now, today is our last kind of comfortable day before that heat really rolls in. Right now, we're sitting at 82 in Orlando. If you're in Melbourne, you're at 83, 81 in New Smyrna Beach, and it is 84 in the Villages. Here's a look at your clouds and rain forecast as we take you through the afternoon, starting right about now, taking you into the afternoon hours with a mix of sun and clouds. Stopping the clock at 5 o'clock, no rain to interfere with that drive home. If your kids still have practices after school. I know some sports have wrapped up, but some of you still have those after school practices. You should be fine with that. Through the evening hours, we'll keep it clear, and then overnight, no weather related issues. We did have a little bit of fog out there this morning, so not out of the question maybe to see a little bit more tomorrow morning, but overall nothing major. Afternoon highs for today go to 89 in the Villages, 87 in Orlando. If you're in Kissimmee, you top out at 88 and 88 as well in Palm Coast. Here's how it looks for the next 7 days. Look at that. By tomorrow, we go into the 90s. Now remember, the normal high this time of year is right around 88. We go to 92 tomorrow, and then we slowly tick those temperatures up into the weekend. Now by Saturday and Sunday, we're talking about mid-90s. That means some of you could feel like the low 100s. And then even into next week, we keep that hot weather around into the 90s with overnight lows in the 70s. We will talk much more about this weather pattern for you coming up on News 6 starting at 4. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today. We always are happy when you stop by. We'll see you on News 6 at 4 later today.